All right. Well, yeah, probably not going to say much that you didn't see for yourselves out there. Defense saved us. 28 turnovers, I believe 17 in the first half. Offensively hitting those kind of stagnant stretches. But it was nice to have a security on the bench and a feeling that if we could just move it and get a couple good shots and just kind of buy a little time offensively, that our defense was holding strong. And I think for the most part, that last stretch of minutes, if we didn't give up an offensive rebound, I'm not sure they scored on the original shot attempt. So really good, just fight, just kind of figuring out way to win a game. And so really happy for them, proud of us, and proud of them, and just excited to get back in the gym because I think we're going to have a ton of film that we can look at and then point out things that they'll notice, things that we talked about that we can continue to improve on for Saturday.
Obviously, defense is going to tell the story tonight, but going forward with this group, understanding that they're probably going to have to hang their hat on defense, how important is shot selection going to be for this group?
Well, it's going to be huge, and it's something I think the first game kind of jitters or the first game excitement kind of led to maybe some quicker shots than we've been used to, even in practices or even in the scrimmages, the closed door scrimmages, because a lot of our defense is wants to be up tempo, wants to be fast, but if we don't create anything, we've got to just do a better job about being stubborn, creating for each other, and being stubborn about getting the shot that we want. And I think sometimes we feel like we do a lot and we move a lot, but there's still 15 to 20 on the clock. And that's when we can really break defenses down instead of maybe taking something that is maybe a little unexpected.
Speaking of first game jitters, seems like Jackie early was kind of rushing everything, but he really settled down in that second half. What did you kind of tell him at halftime, or what maybe changed in his approach going into that second half?
No, didn't say anything to him. Knew again that he was about as excited as anyone to get out there in front of the crowd. And but yeah, the first ones he knew. Every time Jackie takes one that's kind of a 50-50, he'll look over and acknowledge it or whatever. But his free throws, he's solid at the line. But I mean, he was a huge reason that sparked that run in the second half to kind of create a little bit of a gap. And but we've just got to, as a staff, we've got to find more ways for our guys to just create for each other, get in the paint, and make just kind of strong basketball plays for each other.
Kevin, obviously game one, and your team, a lot of transition, 8 new guys in for this team. Your overall impression, after just one game, you have basically a tale of two halves, right? First half, you're able to control things. In the second half, they were a little bit more competitive. Your impressions of having this squad with a lot of new guys on this team?
Yeah, I think there's a hint of kind of hope and optimism throughout the summer when we talked continuously about this is going to be a group that hangs their hat on defense. These guys coming in here are guys that earned minutes at their previous school from the defensive end. So to go out there and see them truly do that, I think it was great to see, because I'm not, I was kind of just hopeful at times in the summer that that it would all be as true as we felt we saw on film. But yeah, I think offense is going to be a work in progress when you've got that many new guys. And but again, we've just got to be a little more stubborn about getting the shots we want, whether it be in the paint, strong off 2 feet, or creating an advantage or a shot for somebody else. But I think as time goes on, they're just going to get more and more comfortable playing with each other.
Kev, that was my question for you. What do you want the identity of this team to look like offensively?
Offensively, I really just want to look like I'd love to have a little bit of a blend of patience, but looking like they're having fun. We give the guys a lot of freedom. We try to just create advantages to where they can just make plays. I think this is a high basketball IQ group. I think it's a group that can make a lot of plays for each other. So we're just going to continue hammering that point home about just being stubborn. Get the shot that we want. And I'd love at the end of a game for an opposing staff or fans, media, whatever it may be, to say, man, they just don't take bad shots. And they just look like they're having fun playing for each other.
I want to get your impression on the play there in the first half. Obviously, the alley-oop off the glass. A lot of old-school coaches have an issue with that. Yeah. Your impression when something like that goes down?
Hey, he made it. Had it. Yeah, I mean, had it not gone in, I'm not really sure what would have happened, but we don't have to worry about that today. So I got nothing else on that one. But no, I mean, it's fun. I mean, they're having fun, created off a turnover. If they can go out there, create 28 turnovers and run and shoot threes and get dunks, I think, they should have as much fun as they can have doing that.
The forced turnovers, is that something that is being coached, like, do you want that to be part of the defensive identity? How much of that do you want to come from, like, aggressive defensive play, and how much of that is just happenstance maybe tonight?
Well, I mean, we talked a lot this summer about, we were dead last in the league last year in points created off turnovers, off turnover percentage. We just didn't create a lot of turnovers, so it was really hard to get any free buckets last year. So that's something that we absolutely want to have as one of our staples. We want to have people coming in here preparing and being cautious that, if you go in certain areas, if you get to certain spots on the floor, that the advantage becomes or the advantage comes on our end. And I think tonight, I think our guys, for the most part, really did a good job of kind of sticking to what our defensive principles have been all throughout practice in the summer, and then leading up through the scrimmages and tonight. And again, I mean, definitely probably don't win that game without 28 turnovers forced.
Kevin, you guys forced 17 turnovers in the first half, 8-point lead. Were you happy with that, or were you expecting more from your guys after that?
Well, I think, even though 17 to force 11 and a half, being the second half, is still a really good number. But I think what it also did is I think it just made things harder for Southern to score if you look at the percentages from the first half to the second half. Even though they may not have turned it over as much, I think a lot of the shots were tougher shots. And then also, of course, you got to factor in the just chasing people around, running around as a point guard. That's difficult to do when your only concern is to take care of the ball and bring it up the floor to enter the offense. Sometimes those nights are a little more difficult. It's just add something on your plate. So I mean, of course, it would have been great, but again, I think a lot of it just kind of boils down to our offense. Just need to get a little more comfortable. Need to be a little more fluid. We got to have better spacing, and we've just got to do a little bit better job of again, but just being stubborn and just getting the shot we want.
Anything else?
All right, thank you guys.
EJ, what did you think about the way that you guys played and were able to close it out for the win?
I think we did great. We got a couple rotations defensively that we could work on, but I think defensively that was excellent. I think we forced a lot of turnovers. That's something that we struggled with last year. So I think it was a great performance by us defensively. I think we got a couple things we can clean up offensively that we'll attack this week.
Keshon, it wasn't always pretty offensively, but what did you kind of like from that side, and what do you think you guys could really improve on going forward?
Just being there with each other when we got pressure, really not running away from the ball, like being a receiver when like the point guard or anybody else is getting trapped. But we did good. We stayed together, really. We stayed down, and then, we got the win. So win always good.
Keshon, you threw that alley-oop off the glass to Luis Rodriguez. Can you take us through that play?
Man, it's crazy because, like, last week I sent EJ a screen record in practice. I was running the floor hard. I was like, if you see me, man, throw it, because he ain't throw it in the play. So he seen me, threw it to me, and then I just seen Lou trailing me, threw it off the backboard, and dunked it.
Last year it seemed like Hamilton was the go-to guy. But, who do you think is that guy this year? Who is the facilitator, and who is the guy you want with the basketball, with 10, 20 seconds left with the score tied?
Well, I mean, we all got that responsibility. We trust each other, so there's really no guy on this team. We all together.
Keshon, a new group of guys coming in again this year. Would you say that you guys are still learning and trying to work with each other, even though it's the first game? You guys still have a lot more to work on, you believe?
Of course. It's always room for improvement.
EJ, we saw you kind of limp off the court there. Just how's the knee feeling, and what kind of happened there?
Knee great. I mean, it was just my cramping. So that's on me. I got to take care of my body better.
Keshon, I've talked to Coach, during practice and everything about you as a ball handler and lead point guard. How would you evaluate your process, ball in your hands, attacking the rim, everything like that?
You said what?
As a ball handler, right, leading the offense, attacking the rim, getting a little bit more aggressive, how would you evaluate your performance tonight?
I mean, I could have took care of. I had 4 turnovers. I could have took care of it better, but my first time starting, and well, not my first time starting, but like sophomore year debut, I think I did pretty good.
You did great, man. You did a good job.
Oh boy.
Keshon, it seemed like tonight, especially in the second half, just a lot of bodies colliding, people hitting the floor. That kind of game, is that the kind of type of game that we can expect this year from this team, do you think?
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, we gonna get aggressive with you, but I mean, we ain't trying to hurt nobody. We ain't tackling people on the floor intentionally, but I mean, we're gonna get aggressive this year. Hey, patty cake, man, going back and forth. They going back and forth.
Keshon, you guys had that drought near the end of the game. Just what kind of changed? Obviously, they're running the full court press and the trap, but what do you guys take away from that, I guess, going forward?
Just be a receiver, man. Don't run away from the ball. Just be there for your teammate, really. That's really all it ain't rocket science.
Appreciate y'all.